Okay, YouTubers, this is Joe from ArtAlienTV. Now I've got a couple of Gigapans here to show you, and one or two other things which may surprise or even shock you, I don't know. So this is part one. I'm going to be showing some images. In part two, I'm going to show you an example of some fake bot channels on YouTube, okay? And how to spot them and what to do, okay? First of all, I'm going to show you this real quick one. This is Sol 1037. There isn't a hell of a lot of stuff in here, but I'm sure there's some things I haven't pointed out. I'm only going to show you a couple of things here that I've found. This is a set of images that was taken years ago, back in 2014 or 15, I think. This set of images, and I've been going through some of the older Curiosity images because they're actually better than the new ones, because most of them were in colour, whereas now they're mostly in black and white, and that has its advantages but also disadvantages. These are quite good once they're cleaned up, and the thing I've found is this. Now, I don't know what this is, but it's really weird. It looks like a fragment of some broken object, and whether that's a statue or whether it's some other kind of technical object, I don't know. It looks a bit of both here. It's very strange, and basically what we've got this headlight structure here with an arm here with a weird sort of pipe or tube coming out of this part here, right? I'll show you the magnifier because actually this is pretty cool. If I go back a bit, I'll show you the raw clip in a minute. Right, there's the head, mouth, there's an eye here, this is the chin here, and underneath we got this pipe or tube coming out and goes over this part, right, and then into there, and there's like an arm here with a strange joint to it there which comes up and then has something sticking out here. Now I don't know if that is an arm, but it's in an arm position. It doesn't look like a normal arm, but hey, this is Mars. And it's got this weird sort of strange crest on the back of it, which is like a fin. Very strange indeed. You can actually see an eye in there, just there. And you can actually see what look a bit like teeth here. Really vague, but they're there, okay? It's all there. But the tube is what interested me. I mean, why would a tube come out of this thing? Now, whether you believe this is some kind of carving or not, it doesn't really matter. It may or may not be. It looks like one, but it may not be. But the fact is, do rocks have tubes or pipes coming out of them? No, they do not. It comes out of this dark area, goes over this thing here in front of it, and then curls round, and there's like another part where it widens out. It changes colour slightly. There's a joint there. So this is joined to this. Very strange. You can actually see here there's like a join. Okay, now let me show you where to look. I've marked it up here. And in the raw image it's quite clear up here. There it is. All I did with the raw image, as usual, was colour correct it and then brighten it a bit. And that was about it, really. I mean, nothing. This is completely raw, okay? Nothing done to this whatsoever. It's just been enlarged so it doesn't pixelate too much. And you can see all that detail in there. Let's go back a little bit. You can see all that in there. You can see the eye just there. Mouth here with teeth, chin. This looks like a head here. The skull comes to about there. Right, and then we got this crest along the back. Large fin. And this arm-like thing, part to it, coming round there, and the tube goes over the arm there, and then you can see that join. You can see a shadow just here, so there's a join as it joins to this part here. So I don't know what this represents. It could be part of a statue, it could be part of something or who knows. Bear in mind, as I have shown, and I'm getting a bit fed up with, there are so many statues in this area, in Gale Crater and in Jezero Crater, that it's getting ridiculous. I'm literally tripping over them. There are so many. In fact, I've only shown you some of them. I mean, some of them are facing the wrong way, some are facing away from the camera, some have fallen over, some are buried right up to the nose or whatever. And I haven't even shown you half of them because they are statues, but unless they're looking towards you or in a specific angle, you don't always notice what they are, because often they're surrounded by large rocks and mostly buried and stuff like that, and they just stick out. So I'm only showing you the clearer ones, and they are literally everywhere. If you were to walk around on the surface, you would be tripping over or bumping into one of these things about every few minutes. These things are everywhere, and there's another weird thing over here, which may be part of it. This thing here, which just looks like a rock, but if you look at it carefully, it's got different parts to it all joined together. And this looks like it's upside down. This was probably up the other way. This may have been joined to this, because it's got similar kind of details on it, and may represent something that was joined to it. Just here. So that's weird. And there's loads of weird stuff in here, and I'm not going to go through it all now, because I'm sure you guys out there, you guys and girls out there, would find loads of stuff in here as well. I mean, this one here is very strange. There's some really weird stuff in here, and they've got these weird angled parts joined together and little pipe-like parts coming out of them. Very strange. You can check this out yourself, so follow the links below as usual. That was that one, so let's move on to the next one. Now, this one was another set from a similar number. This is Sol 1074, and this is Mass Right. Boats, buildings, and buried ruins. Now, this is absolutely littered with buried structures. Now, what I've done here, I've got the raw one in the middle here. This is completely raw, okay? It's quite long. It's a nice long one. This one at the top is enhanced. That's a complete copy of this one, but enhanced. And then the bottom strip is just part of the enhanced one, which I enhanced a bit more to bring some of these things out. I've really pushed it a bit harder. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the bottom strip, because this is the best part for looking at things, but you can see them in the raw image in the middle and the partly enhanced one at the top. Okay, but this is a bit darker and more contrast in this one. I wouldn't normally add this much, because what it does, it makes a lot of the shadows too dark, and then that can actually hide things. But if you're trying to look at things which are a long way off, which these are, these objects and things are buried, and they're miles away from the rover. About 2 miles away. The rover's zoomed the camera in part of that way, but it's still a long, long way off. So a lot of these things are very large and miles away, okay? So that's the kind of scale we're looking at. Let's start this side. There's some crazy stuff in here. And some of these things I've shown before, and some of these things I've just spotted. Now, this is the giant head, okay? Now, I've shown this before, right? This thing here. This is like a giant Sphinx head, and is absolutely massive. Here, okay, this is the forehead. That's the nose there, and you can see an eye here. And I'll show you some clips of that. Here it is from another angle. This is taken from Sol 45, and we're seeing it almost from the front here. Okay, you can actually see this is a new enhancement, a new angle I've done on this. I've got it from multiple angles. This is about 300 or 400 feet in size. It's absolutely enormous, okay? And this is at the base of Mount Sharp. And we saw this early on, and this is one of the best views of it, because you can actually see the big eyes here with inner eye detail and the nose coming down here. But there's this structure in the way, unfortunately, and it's kind of obscuring part of it here, this black thing. There's an actual structure here which kind of obscures it. And incidentally, this is near the Mars Emperor that I showed months and months ago. The Mars Emperor is down here on the end of one of these butte-like structures here. Well, it might be this one or one further down over here. But basically, that's the same thing I've just showed you. Giant Sphinx head, okay? So here it is from the side, and later I will show you this from the back side, from much closer up. This thing is absolutely massive, and it's been dominating this landscape for thousands and thousands of years, maybe even over 1 million years, who knows. But unless you see it from certain angles, it doesn't always look exactly like a giant Sphinx head or a giant person's portrait. This is obviously one of the ancient rulers of Mars, or ancient gods of Mars, or something. And I would say is extremely ancient. It's quite eroded and broken up, but you can still see the main details on it, okay? And it's got this weird ramp thing in front of it. And the butte where I think the Mars Emperor is this one here. You can't see it now, but the Mars Emperor is just here. There's a giant head on this here. A lot of these buttes have giant heads on them, okay? At one end, usually, and maybe both ends, because we've only seen one end of most of them, not both, okay? So there was that, the giant Sphinx head, and then there's loads of weird buttes and domes along here. There's this weird structure here, which is a new find of mine. I don't know if it's anything significant, but it doesn't look natural here. It's kind of a rectangular shape almost, and it slopes up on the side of the mountain here. That is really weird, and it kind of just sticks up, okay? And there's got this weird part on top of it there. Okay, so that was weird. Not sure about that. Loads of other weird structures here. I'm not going to point them all out. This is one that I've done a video on a while back, about a year ago or something, maybe last year. This is like a boat or some kind of weird boat-shaped or vehicle-shaped structure, just here. And it's half sort of buried on this ridge. Okay, now this was water down here at one point, so this may be a boat. Just here. And you can see it's got like a leg part sticking out there. And a possible cabin here. And if you click on this link, it will take you to that video, okay? So that was cool. Yeah, the boat, speedboat and car found on Mars, okay? So it may not be a speedboat, but that's what it looks like. And it's got these weird parts to it, which you can see. And if you take a clip of that and darken it and add contrast, you'll see that even more. It's quite easy to do, okay? You can even do that on a mobile phone. And then we have this thing over here, another structure. And this is weird because it sticks out from behind this sort of brownish butte-like thing here, this here. And we have a roof and a sort of arch-shaped structure, semicircular, with a different coloured sort of roof part to it, like a dome or bunker sort of style structure, like a lot of these are. And this is kind of built into the back of this thing over here, which is all just kind of brown rock by the looks of it. But then we have a different colour completely, and then a nice curved dome with what looks a bit like windows here, just here. So there was that. There is a video on that as well, which you can link to. I'll see if I can link that up for you. There's this weird thing. Now, I only just spotted this. This is really strange, and this looks to be some kind of buried structure along this ridge. Now, a lot of people have been going on about this ridge at the back here, at the bottom of Mount Sharp for years, including me and other sort of serious channels like Mars Anomalies and channels like that. We've been going on about this for years and spoken about it many times to each other as well as in our videos. And it kind of looks like it's all been smudged over, but that may be the case. It's pretty hard to say, but it's hard to prove. But we have this thing here, just here. We got a part here. We got a sort of squarish end to it there, and it goes along here, and it's all buried. It's weird. Now that's the sort of thing that would need to be a clip would need to be taken of that. Take a rectangular clip of it, and then darken it up, add contrast, and then that will come out. I'll take a clip of that for you and do that because that needs to be processed. There's another little structure, semicircular or miniature sort of bunker-like structure on the end of this thing, which is probably a building, right? A ruin. Okay. Now, I didn't spot this before. This is a new find, just here. We've got a similar arch-shaped or semicircular shaped roof, and then what they're like windows or something on the front of it, and it goes down into the ground here, and it looks buried. Okay, you can see it's buried there. And it's part of this butte-like structure, which is probably a ruined structure. And on the end of it here, we got a weird structure on the end. I've shown this before, but this is very dark here. Let's go up to the less dark one at the top. It should line up pretty well with that. We'd be able to see this thing on the end. There's a weird structure on the end of there as well. just there, just parked on the end. Very strange. Some of this stuff is really weird. There's that semicircular one there. Doesn't show up so well here because it's not as dark. So sometimes if you darken stuff, the shadows push out the detail, okay? But you can lose other details in that process. This is why I have different levels of images here. We've got this processed one, unprocessed here. You can see it pretty clearly there, right? In the unprocessed one. And then the more heavily processed one at the bottom, which is darker. And that's really pushed out some of the detail, okay? Just here, you see that thing there. So there was that, and then there's another thing over here, another structure, a weird thing just here. Now I don't know what it is, but it looks like some kind of buried building or structure or something, just here. You can see this kind of weird shaped object. We got like a dome shape there and another part here. Let's go back a bit because if we get too close, it just blurs out. Go back a bit, use the magnifier, there it is. Here. It's much lighter than the surrounding material, just here, and it's got a sort of shadow around it. So there's some sort of buried thing there, I don't know what it is. Interesting. We got all these weird light coloured objects up here, okay. This is the thing I called a ship initially. I did a video about this years ago. There is a link to this. Water, shipwreck and building complex on Mars, okay? And this is the area I covered in that video. This looks like water down here. I'm not saying it is water, it just looks like water from this angle. A lot of this stuff is blue sand. This is blue sand, but this is one of the few areas that does actually look like reflective water. But what this may be is an optical trick where we have quite a lot of crystalline material in the regolith was sand, and it's reflecting. But the weird thing is, most of the sand is either this kind of bluish colour or this kind of brownish colour, okay? That's the main material in the area of the regolith, okay? And this here is different. It does look like water. I'm not saying it is, because if it was water, these reflections here would be much more pronounced. But we do seem to be getting a reflection. We've got this dark part here, and there's a dark patch there. Dark patch here, dark patch there. This whole dark patch here, it doesn't quite show, but the highlighted part seems to show here, right? Now, is this actually water? Some people have said it is. I don't think it is, but it could be. But as we've been told by NASA, that there's not enough air pressure for water to survive more than a few seconds on Mars. And that may well be the case. But the fact that now we have the Ingenuity helicopter buzzing around with absolute ease says to me that the water may survive a bit longer than that. Because if the copter is flying so easily, there must be higher air pressure than we're being told. Okay, and I've done videos on that recently, so you can go back and watch them if you like. So there was that, what looks like reflective water here at the bottom. And when you darken it up, it really does look like water. But it may be an optical illusion. Lastly, but not least, is another ship-like structure with rib-like parts to it, okay? And there is a link here to that video. It's called Shipwreck and Caravan on Mars, near Forbidden City, okay? There is actually somewhere in this image, I think there's like a car-like structure. I don't think we can see it from this angle. It's in a different... There's another set of images taken from further over to the right here as the rover went round, and you can see this a bit closer, and there's like a car parked in front of it, and it's absolutely insane. So check that out. But this basically looks like a shipwreck, and the outer part of the ship is kind of corroded away, and what we're seeing are sections, cross sections, or bulkheads, or something. Here, you can see these parts here. Okay, if I go back a bit, that'll look more clear. There we are. See that? One. There's one there, one there, one there, one there, one there. They're on their row. Like it almost looks like vertebrae. I don't think they are vertebrae, but it could be. I doubt it, but who knows? So this is weird. This looks like an actual shipwreck, and this is another example of take a clip, rectangular clip, add loads of contrast, okay? And this will really jump out, and those rib-like parts will really jump out at you. There was one other thing I wanted to show you. Now, there are a bunch of channels that have appeared recently in the last few months on YouTube, like this one. This one's called Outer Space, right? Putting up fake images, using genuine Mars images, like this from the Perseverance rover images, like this one here. But then what they're doing is they're just taking random things from Earth, like photographs of things from Earth, and then pasting them into the image like this. Now, look at this one here. Now, if I show you that, look at this rock here, this angled rock, and then we have what looks like a cutout image that's been pasted in behind the rock, okay? And it's not been done very well. And there's another one here where it's done a similar thing there with some other weird blue object, right? And I can prove that that is fake. And there's lots of channels like this, okay? And I'll show you a couple more in a minute. So this one's called Outer Space. And I'll show you that quickly again. Look at the angled rock. Look at the weird object. I mean, it claims that this is a form of two ears behind a strange rock. Okay? Completely faked. And I've got that rock here to show you. There it is. And there ain't nothing behind it, apart from another small rock here. Okay? That's it. That's the same rock. I recognised it immediately when I saw it on the cover of that image, that video. I knew it was from Sol 203 or 204, so I quickly had a look, found it straight away. And incidentally, it's near the ancient ruins here. The ancient, what I call the Mars Citadel structure, or castle-like structure, or part of a castle, okay, which I showed in the previous video. So these channels, these bot channels, I don't even know if they're people running these channels, because if you look at this one, this is a good example of fakery, and you're not allowed to comment on these videos. Comments are shut down, okay, which is usually a sign of a bot channel. And then if we go up here, there's another couple of bot channels that I think may be related to that one. This one here, Mr. Danielle. So they should be captures for one thing. So that a lot of the spellings and stuff and diction is wrong. But also, this isn't an actual photograph of Mars. This is a fake image, completely CGI image. It's not even Mars. You can look at the colour of it. It's completely wrong. It's this weird sort of dark orangey red colour. The colours are wrong, and this is a completely fake image, okay? So that's Mr. Danielle, and Mr. Danielle's been posting a lot of this crap in the last few weeks, loads and loads every day, 3 or 4 videos a day, and some of them do contain genuine Mars images from Perseverance and Curiosity, but most of them recently are all completely fake, or they're like that previous channel where he gets genuine Mars images and then puts other images into them and pastes them on, like animals and lizards and things, okay? So this channel's also faking stuff. I think it may be the same channel as this one, or the same company, or whether it's AI. I think it may be an AI channel, because this channel here, Outer Space, uses exactly the same techniques as this one, Mr. Danielle, that uses exactly the same techniques as this other channel up here called Mars Mission 2021. And there's Mr. Danielle again. This is also fake. Mars Perseverance rover capture an entrance leading into a cave. Okay, yeah, so that looks like it's been written by a bot or some kind of dodgy AI sort of system. And this isn't even Mars. This is an image from Earth, which you can get on Google Images. If you look up caves and stuff, and it looks like it's been just colorized to go a bit more orange, that's all. So it's had the color temperature changed to make it go more orange, to make it look more Mars-like. And it's not even from Mars. So that's another fake one, 51,000 views. And these, if you type in Mars when you do a search on YouTube, these fake channels all come up near the top, right? And that's real channels like me and Mars Anomalies and John Ward are being pushed right down by these channels, and I think a lot of these views are fake, and I think they're using bot viewers as well as bot created content. I've actually contacted one or two of these channels with no reply. Some of them have even got fake groups on Facebook that have had no comments or no one going on them or anything, which link up to these channels, and they've all got similar kind of badly spelt and bad sort of descriptions, if any, and they don't offer any links to the images, which is always a sign of a bot channel. And this is one of the classic examples here. This has only just been uploaded recently in the last 20 odd minutes, and this is, again, this is real Mars images. You can see these are real Mars images because they got that weird sort of colour to them, and which is actually quite hard to fake, actually, to get it exactly right. It's really hard unless you sample it or something. But this is a genuine Perseverance image, but the image on the cover isn't. And in the actual video, it shows an area of water that's just been taken from an image from Earth and then copied and pasted onto the Mars image. And then this person is claiming, if it is a person, which I don't think it is actually, is claiming this is on Mars, and it's not. So this is fraud. Now, what I would recommend you do, I mean, I don't know if this will actually help, but what you can do is report it like this, and then tick that box there, spam or misleading, okay? And if enough people do that with these videos, then I don't know what will happen. Maybe they'll get removed. I don't know. I don't even know if that even works. But what is weird, when you type in Mars, these come right at the top. This is a genuine one. I know these are genuine. I've covered this area, so I know that's real. That's cool. We got a music video there. Okay. Yeah, that dude from Russia. Okay. And then you come down. Now, this is that channel again. Totally fake image on the front. Okay. And there's that one again, Mr. Daniel. Yeah, okay. So they're all coming up right at the top of the search when you type in Mars. And nearly every other video is fake. There's another one. Now, I'm not sure about this one. This may be genuine. This looks like a genuine image. I have covered this cave. There is a cave there, so that's okay. Yeah, Elder Fox documentaries, that's cool. Okay, but yeah, there we are, Mr. Daniel again with the fake. These go on and on and on, and these, if you scroll down, there are, I would say, about 30 or 40% of these videos now, near the top, are fake. Now, this has only happened in the last 6 months since the Perseverance rover landed. I've got a feeling they might be actual AI bot channels. In other words, the content is being put together by a bot or some kind of AI system, because if you watch these videos, they have exactly the same panning techniques in each video, the way they pan left and right and up and down, okay? Very, very similar, like they're using a formula, the same kind of template for each video, okay? Just changing the images and putting a fake image at the front or on the front and then in the video at some point, okay? And they're all sort of quite short videos, and they're getting lots of views. So it looks like the AI bot channels are being promoted by the AI bots on YouTube, the AI system, and also there's a lot of AI bot people possibly watching and liking these videos as well. Okay, so call them out if you see it, call it out, leave a comment in the video and report them. Okay, like I showed you, use the report feature next to it here and tick that little box and report. And if people do that, they will probably get sorted out. I don't know. I don't even know if the system even works because it's not the sort of thing I normally do. I've only done it once or twice to these and that's it, but I'm not sure it'll make any difference. So there we are. We have genuine stuff on Mars like this, which can all be checked, and you've got links to the original NASA page with the NASA images here. So as always, click on the Gigapan link, and if you want to get the original images, this will link to it up here. The same goes for all my Gigapans. I've just started a new channel. I'll just show you that quickly here. Now, this has only got one video on it so far. This is a new backup channel because my main backup channel, which is called Space Detective 1, seems to have died a death, and I think it's been censored. So when I put videos up on there now, they're not getting hardly any coverage. So I've started a new channel, and it's called Mars Rover Images. And there's only one video up on here so far, but do come along and subscribe, okay? Because I'm going to put a lot of my newer material on here, not just my old stuff, to back it up and make sure that if my main channel has any problems, that at least some of my stuff would be backed up on here, okay? So please come along and subscribe if you can, and that would really help me out, okay? Because it's a real struggle fighting against not only the AI that seems to restrict my channels, but fighting against other channels which are now AI as well, who seem to be poisoning them well for some reason, okay? So thanks for watching, everyone. Please subscribe to my new channel, like I said, Mars Rover Images, okay? Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.